Hi, this is the private video for Team 37, Powell's Goons. We're going to start off with everyone on our team's contributions and reflections from this past quarter.
Hi, I'm Brian Matuja. I am the team lead of Group 37. I essentially set up and built the pipeline. I wrote down the YAML files as well as the scripts for Jest, JS docs, and linting, as well as set up Codacy. I helped make the unit tests and find bugs in our code as well as the website. I was involved in the main and final merges of our branches. I published and ran the website on Netlify. I'm the most proud of being able to lead. I took initiative in our group, made deadlines, ran meetings, communicated with the TA, set roles for everybody, and made sure to follow through with the teammates on any troubles that they would have. Moving forward, though, I hope to be able to follow up even better with my teammates so I can understand their issues sooner and work through them.
Hi, I'm Satyak Singh, the team lead for Team 37. I worked on the CI/CD pipeline and JS documentation. I also worked on the initial organization of the group and getting everyone on board with the project. What I'm most proud of is working with a group of 10 people. This is by far the biggest group I've worked with. So what I could improve on more is being more available to everyone on the group. Um, that's it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophie. I was developer on the project and I worked on different parts of the backend, working on unit tests as well as different parts of the code and debugging. And what I'm most proud of is fixing a bug that we had with the filtering and the searching, which would cause the post to not be able to edit or delete anymore. So I'm proud I was able to figure that out, as well as our team for creating a cohesive app. And something I think that could be improved on, that I can improve on in the future, is planning in more detail and making sure the repo is organized from the beginning and stays organized.
Hi, my name is Jingshin Shi. My teammates know me as Fenchi. I'm one of the developers of the team. I initially set up the GitHub organization and group repo. I managed the GitHub repo later on. I did some front-end works with HTML and also helped in setting up unit tests. I also did some side works for the team, for example, designing group logo and editing videos for submission. I am proud of our team. We cooperated like a whole and never had to worry about conflicts. All my teammates are lovely. The only thing I think we could have done better is that we should make the meeting times shorter and more efficient.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I was a planner, so I helped make things a little bit more organized, and I made sure that we were completing all of our Canvas assignments and turning those in on time. And I also was in charge of the CSS and user experience in general. One thing I'm proud of is I was testing the app from a user point of view, and I was able to find a bug where our app wasn't saving an image when you would edit a restaurant entry. So I was able to go in and fix that. And something that I would improve on in the future is just organizing the repo a little bit more, really utilizing those GitHub issues and documenting a little bit more.
Hi, my name is Beta Perumal Latrajan. I'm the group designer for Group 37 Powell's Goons. Most of the work I did is in the quality assurance side though. Anyways, what I did was I created a CI/CD pipeline for JSDoc and unit tests with a few others, and I also created the end-to-end test as well. What I'm proud of is the end-to-end test and how organized they were. I firstly made the manual test and then I automated all of them so that nothing would be missed out. What I would like to improve on is creating the pipeline sooner so that it's more useful and people actually add features. And also, I think I should create more end-to-end tests on the edge cases so that we could discover more bugs. All right,
Hey, this is Alan. I'm the bug finder of our team, which means I try all different kinds of workflow and try to find bugs in them, which is not an easy job because all my teammates are such great programmers. But still, I managed to find and fix several cases where a restaurant would magically disappear. In the future, I will improve on writing better issue templates. And yeah.
Hello, my name is Jungwon Ko, and I was a developer in Group 37. My main job in this project was to create end-to-end tests, and it took me a while to go through all the scripts and figure out which part were connected. But after finishing the making test, I was proud of myself and my team when all the features passed the test. Moreover, I was more than happy because this group project was also my first group project. And of course, the tests weren't perfect, but this has been a good study for me, and I think they will be helpful for new project in the future.
Hi, my name is James, and I was a developer on the project. So I spent a lot of time on the back end, and the feature I worked on the most was the search bar and getting that integrated with the rest of the app. So the thing I'm most proud of is actually completing and being able to contribute to the project after I got COVID, which just made things a lot more difficult. It made it hard to even work on the project. So I'm glad I was able to get through that. Something I feel I can improve on is communication, just notifying others with what I'm doing and being on the same page with everyone so we can do things and accomplish things more efficiently.
Hi, my name is Eustacia. I'm a developer for the team. I work mostly on functional code for the form, the list, the restaurant entry, creating, reading, editing, and deleting restaurant entries, sorting and filtering entries on the list, and the export button to print the list. Some things I'm proud of are that the code I wrote works as it is expected to, and that I contributed to the team's success. Some things I think I could improve are planning in more detail before I start coding, keeping our repo more organized, and coding more carefully, looking out for potential bugs.
My name is Ryan Matuja. I'm the team lead for Group 37 Powell's Loans. Today, I'm going to show you quickly how to access a repo, a build process, as well as how our repo is organized. So this basically is my GitHub page. You can quickly go to our repo. It's public. And here we have all the files. Of course, in our GitHub files, we have our workflows. So basically, these are all the workflow files that we need. Then we have the tests, which is basically all the tests that we create, the E2E tests as well as the unit tests, which show that when we run our workflows. Our admin is basically, when we worked over the 10 weeks, we want to show every single week of what we did and every meeting. So that's how we updated everything and kept ourselves on track and of our goals. The docs is basically all the documentations for the files that we have. Our source is basically all the files that we do have, all those files that we've coded. And when we run Netlify or publish our website, it's this directory that it's published from. Here we have specs, and that's basically all the ideas that we've had, all the changes and ideas that we have, etc. And of course, our JSON files help us run our workflows. Here I'm going to I made 3 changes to our main branch. I want to quickly do build process, showing, and then boom. I'm going to commit this, and when we commit it, almost immediately our actions. Sorry, I have to just sync the changes on my head. There we go, syncing changes. And almost immediately our actions start running. Oh, there we go. I'm going to quickly show you our unit tests. I'm linking our JS docs. But here I'm going to quickly show you Codacy. Codacy right now shows us very, very low issues and our grades an A. But in reality, we don't really have any issues with that code. It gives us a new update every single day. A new analysis every day. And here you can see that it's mostly from any issues that we have is from the documentations file. And the documentation file isn't a file that we control because unfortunately the documentation file is basically from JS docs. It's created every single commit and or pull request. So what ends up happening, this is a branch. So what ends up happening is that file is created every single time. I can't ignore it. I can't remove it because it's going to be produced every single time. So yeah, aside from that, everything else in our code is perfectly done. And here we have, I'm going to show you quickly linting. And over here, you can see that when we open linting, it has no errors, but there are a couple of warnings. Again, all of these warnings, I've chosen to put them as warnings and not errors because of the fact that they're all coming from the same documentation scripts file, which again is produced in every single commit and pull request. So I've chosen to ignore that. But other than that, our code, any code that we've written, comes with perfect linting. So our code is easily readable by anybody else. Here we have the tests, and here you can see that all our tests are running. We've created a couple of E2E tests as well as some end-to-end tests, and some unit tests, and they're all passing every single time we commit our pull request. And here you can see that JS docs is successfully committed, and then we're going to quickly refresh the page just so we can look at our docs, and you can see that all of these are HTML files that are created by the documentations, the workflow. And basically, that's how the build process works. So that's our repo. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, so I'm going to go over a retrospective on some of our agile practices in the project. So for our team, what worked well and went well was the retrospective meetings that we had, as well as the sprint planning meetings. We also created a feature backlog. So we had a list of nice to have features that we would add if we had more time. We also all individually created user stories for the project, and I think that went well. We also worked together very well in person at our meetings synchronously. We communicated, we got a lot of work done in our meetings, and we communicated well within the team. And we were also very flexible and able to adapt to change. So as we needed to, we were able to change things or change aspects of the project that we needed to change or things that we could not get done be moved to a backlog. So some things that could have been improved on were the percentage of the people doing the daily stand-up. We could have had everyone doing the daily stand-up. It also would have been better if it was synchronous, if our schedules allowed. So if we were all able to meet at the same time every day, that would have been more successful, I think, for the stand-up. We also didn't really focus on a burn down chart, so that could have been improved on. Our sprint review meetings, I think, could have gone more into depth with a review of our sprint. And I think having more clearly defined sprints would have been beneficial. I think just the schedule and the timing of the class. We got a little lost at some points with our when our sprint started and ended. And I think ADRs, we could have had more in-depth ADRs as well as more ADRs, but we had some confusions on what exactly they should be, how many we should have. So I think those are some things we could have improved on. And for an overall retrospective of the project, things that went well is our app that functions and it has the features that we set out to make. We have end-to-end tests and unit tests that run and they pass for our app and it tests our code. We also planned it well with our C4 diagram. We went into the nitty-gritty details of what we would need and some of the code with that diagram. Also, our repo organization and our branching, we had different branches for different features, and that went very well for merging. That was very successful. We didn't have many merge conflicts at all. Our CI/CD pipeline also functions and is successful, and it does our linting, it does our code quality, and that's something that is passing and successful. And we also work together as a team very well. Things that could have been improved on were the coverage of the testing and the unit testing. We had some issues with certain functions and certain structures, being able to unit test them, but that's not, I guess, entirely what the unit testing is best used for. As well as fully offline functionality. We struggled a lot with that and the service workers and getting it to run. And so we were not able to do that, even though it does not require the internet. Our TA was also on strike, so we had kind of a lack of support and guidance in the latter part of the project, which made it difficult to know if we were on the right track, how our progress was doing, as we didn't have that TA support. We also could have had better documentation. I think if we had started documenting earlier, it could have been more in-depth. And starting earlier on the planning or just being faster and making decisions and getting things done, I think would have been beneficial. We had some issues with time that made it difficult. And just being more on top of the assignments as a team, if we had planned out when each assignment was, I think that would have helped also define our sprints more and make sure we were getting everything done at the pace that we needed to. So that's a retrospective. Thank you.
So to conclude this video, I'm going to go over the future steps and implementations for the app. So the first thing we would want to implement is to allow a share option so that if the user wants to share their list to some other user, the other user's app can open the list and combine the two lists to give a combined result. The next step would be to have a random restaurant selected option so that, like, if on days that you are feeling adventurous, you can just click random and like pick the random restaurant to go to. For the pipeline, we wanted to have more thorough and sophisticated tests. For now, they are very surface level, as they were they are the way they were done in the labs. We would prefer to have more sophisticated testing in the future done. We also have like an implementation for the PDF to be downloaded, but it's still not merged with the final product. We need more testing on it. So we would want to have a future implementation to have like an export button working. And to make the app more accessible, we believe we should be able to add more images to a post, and we should allow the users to have their own custom tags. For now, the tags are fixed and you can only check them if they exist in the restaurant. But in the future, we want the user to be able to like make their own tags so that they can add more stuff to the app to make it more personal to them. And that should